Hi everybody and welcome to this free video guide rookie division playthrough for the World Champions Tournament here on the BK Golf Clash YouTube channel. We're going to be playing on Yongsan Gardens. Before we look at the replays though, please give me a thumb up and make sure you subscribe to the channel as well, totally free to do so. These are just general wind directions, not indicative of anything you may face in the tournament, but will give you a guide to how you may want to approach the various holes. Plenty of good opportunities for drops here. As always on the channel, my rookie content is using true rookie clubs. Timestamps in the video description down below. Here we go. Depending on the wind angle, if there's any tailwind, like there is in the video here, then we're going to use a power 1 ball and the Goliath. Otherwise you'll be in between clubs. We want to add between 2.5 and 3 bars of topspin depending on the wind strength and wind angle. I line up first with the topspin, aiming at the pin, and then I use side spin to the left to counteract the wind, because that's going to push me to the right hand side. Setting up at max distance with the Goliath and a power 1 ball. Then the adjustment is maximum distance 10% elevation. So with my club level, that is just under 2 rings. If there's any element of headwind, then I would use the Viper or your best wood club. If you're lucky enough to have the Sniper in a low level, you can use that as well, and play from the minimum distance line, in which case you would adjust minimum distance numbers 10% elevation. So on the right hand side, I'm going to use the extra mile, 4.5 topspin, 2 bars side spin to the left. I would recommend you go with a power 2 or a power 3 ball for the second shot more than anything. Setting up with room around the bullseye there on the fairway just to account for any slight inaccuracies. And we're going to aim down the middle of the next piece of fairway and adjust max plus 10. If we have headwind, the reason I suggest a power 2 or a power 3 will be you can adjust into the headwind and not need any overpower. So a power 2 or a power 3 ball would be recommended. Bounce is exactly where we aim after we've adjusted for the wind, and the topspin takes us nicely towards the top left of this fairway. You can bounce on the fairway just at the bottom of the screen there and clear the rough and roll onto the green, but for the best chance at an albatross, I will recommend you go with a rough bump shot. Playing with half a bar of backspin, and I'm aiming at the pin as best I can with the ball guide that I've got. The other option you have here with the rough bump, you can play more to the right of the green, and there is a good slope there as well. But it all depends how much ball guide you've got and how much risk you want to take. Here I adjust medium distance of club, 0 elevation. This shot doesn't really play downhill that much at all because you've got no second bounce. We land directly in the rough, the backspin grabs, and there is a nice slope on the green, so you don't want to have too much speed here. We're dropping it for the albatross. Playing with a power 1 ball, setting up at max distance, 1 bar of backspin, 2 bars side spin to the left. You can also play on the left side here. I'm showing an example from the right. There's slightly more fairway to aim at here. In tailwind, you will need more backspin because the fairway, otherwise the ball may well roll into the water. So if you've got tailwind, I'd put an extra bar of backspin on. We adjust max plus 10. And with the quarterback, that's almost 1 ring per mile per hour. And you can see here we approach the edge of the fairway. There's no rough though, so if you come in too hot, you are going to roll into the water. So I'd rather be slightly short than too long here on the drive. Second shot, we're going to play with our short iron, in my case the Thorn. And I'm going with half a bar of backspin because we've got tailwind here, so we want to just check the ball up a little bit. I've found the min line. You can also push your club up to find the maximum distance of your club and then estimate where you need to bounce in terms of where that is. Here it's just between minimum and medium distance. So I'm going to play 0 elevation depending on where I want to land. So in between min and mid in my case. Aim at the pin as best you can. 0 elevation. As you can see, the shot is really quite flat here, so we don't need to account much for the wind, and we're dropping it very nicely for an eagle. Firstly, we need a ball with 3 bars of side spin, so I'm going with a katana. I'm going to add 2 top spin, and 3 bars side spin to the left, and we're going to aim the first bounce directly in the rough with the ball guide just to the right of the hole, because the wind is going to push us slightly to the left. So I'm just compensating a little bit with where I'm putting the ball guide. I'm at medium distance of the club, so I'm going to go mid plus 20. Mid plus 20 for this wind angle. Make our adjustment. There is room to hit a great left and a great right. You're not going to miss the rough, even with a low accuracy club. There is room there for a slight error. And we contact the rough very nicely, and we drop it for a hole in one. A driver with distance and topspin is needed. I'm going with a Titan for the power 3, because there is some headwind here, but we're still going to get on close to the green. 4.5 topspin, 2 bars side spin to the right, aiming just above centre on this final island that's in the lake. And the adjustment is max plus 10. So for 4.5 wind, that would be 2.1 or 2.2 rings. I adjust into overpower, so I'm going to add that one on. It's only minimal overpower, so still a good chance to hit perfect. Of course, if you don't want to go with overpower in headwind, then play with a higher powered ball. Bounce is where we're aiming, and the topspin takes us nicely down the fairway away from the rough, and we've got a very simple wedge there. Drive distance is going to be around 350 yards. Hole number 6 is all about getting a good position off the drive to play to a specific point from the fairway to the green. It's not immediately obvious where you're going to attack the pin because there's a lot of trees, but there's a nice route here. We're going to play on the right-hand side with the extra mile and a Titan or a Katana or indeed a Kingmaker, but I would recommend really power 3 to have options for your second shot. 4.5 topspin, find a nice bounce point there where you get a high bounce. Don't bounce too close to the water. As you can see, we're about 3.5 rings away from the edge of the fairway. Adjust mid plus 10. If you have headwind, I would then adjust maximum distance 10% elevation to counter for the extra wind push. But either way, we've got room to adjust in all wind angles because we're not at max distance of our club. Bounces very nicely and rolls down here to a point on the fairway. It looks like we're not going to have a clear shot, but we are. 320 yards, we're going to use the wood club because it's going to give us a high trajectory on the ball, and we're going to miss all of the trees. 2 backspin, 2 left spin. If you're playing with a Kingmaker, you'll have less wind to deal with, and you could also actually play with 3 bars side spin to the left instead. But here I want to aim as best I can with the ball guide to the hole. Use whichever wood club is giving you accuracy and ball guide, but you want a fair amount of distance. But the Viper's fine, we don't need the big dog here. But obviously, depending where your club levels are at, you might need to go with a slightly different wood club. Maximum distance, 5% elevation. I push my rings to adjust, otherwise the trees are in the way. As you can see, I've got a full ball guide. It's not clipping the trees at all, and very luckily here, get a very nice speed. Just needed to aim a little bit to the left. We were very, very close for the albatross. Hole 7 provides a brilliant opportunity to get an eagle on a par 4 because we can quite easily drive the green with the right shot setup. If there is headwind, I would recommend you lay up to the left-hand side. But any crosswind or tailwind, I would go with a berserker or a power 5 ball. And we want 1 bar of left spin and just over 2 bars backspin in this wind angle. If you have straight tailwind, I'd add a bit more backspin on. And we want to bounce there in between the rough and the bunker, almost at max distance with the extra mile level 6. You can see I'm just picking a point in the middle of the fairway, and then we're going to adjust maximum distance, 15% elevation, so max plus 15. Don't need to push up because we're easily going to be bouncing on the fairway with this wind angle. Perfect ball, and you'll see we bounce where we were first aiming after our wind adjustment. The backspin just steadies us up, second bounce before the fringe, and we roll onto the green. You will see some hole-in-ones here. Final par 5 now, hole number 8, and it's a very winding fairway. In a decent wind angle here, I would play on the left-hand side. If there's any headwind, though, you will need overpower, or you then play towards the right-hand side with a club with accuracy. But crosswind and tailwind, 4.5 topspin, 2 right spin with a power 3 ball. I would go with a power 3 regardless of the wind angle. Playing with the extra mile, and I'm going to adjust max plus 10, which in my case is 2.1 rings. Takes me into a little bit of overpower, so I'm going to add that on. Kingmaker would reduce the amount of overpower, as would a higher power ball, but no curl. We want the top spin and the side spin to do the rest of the work for us, and we're bouncing comfortably in the middle of the fairway, clearing the rough nicely, and it approaches this little area of fairway and the tree shadow there, and you can see we've got a clear shot at the pin. Like I said though, you can also play on the right hand side, bouncing over towards the right hand bunker, in which case I go with the quarterback. Second shot here, I'm going with the Viper, 3 backspin, 2 bars right spin, and I'm going to aim a little bit left of pin because the wind angle you can see here pointing towards the right hand side of the hole is going to push us a little bit to the pin. It does play downhill though, so I'm going medium distance of club, 10% elevation, and once again pushing the rings, otherwise in this angle the trees are going to be in the way. So I'm adjusting about 2.5 rings here, and with a plain ball shot, no curl, no overpower, hit perfect, we bounce very nicely, and the backspin steadies the ball, second bounce on the fringe, and actually we drop this for a beautiful albatross. Now once again on hole 9, which is a par 3, quite unusual to finish on a par 3, the rough bump gives you the best chance at a hole-in-one. I'm going with a Goliath because we need plenty of topspin. And it's just about 5.5 topspin and 1 bar side spin to the right, so a navigator is fine, cuts the wind down, and we don't need a lot of side spin. Aim with the first bounce in the rough, you'll see most of the yellow ring is inside the rough, just a little bit of it outside, and the ball guide pointing towards the hole. The adjustment here, medium distance of club, 15% elevation. Bear in mind though, a great right with a low accuracy club may end up with you in the bunker. So if you're not feeling comfortable with this one, then play a safer shot, bouncing on the fairway instead. But for a hole-in-one opportunity, the rough bump is the way to go. And there with our mid plus 15 adjustment, we drop it beautifully for that hole-in-one on hole 9. Thanks very much for watching this video here on the channel. If it has helped you in any way, please consider sharing it amongst your friends and clanmates in the game. Join us also on Facebook. Head over there, search for BK Golf Clash and join our free group. Loads of members there sharing shots. Free guides are posted, as well as loads of other great Golf Clash resources. So check us out there. You can join in the discussion and also leave feedback on the game in general. Finally, if you wish to help support the channel and keep the content free for everybody, please consider becoming a Patreon member. The link is in the video description down below. Good luck, see you soon, bye for now.